Simple tricks that make women think about you. Non-stop, you need to know. Let's get straight to the point. Imagine this. You're thinking about that one girl all the time. You can't help it, right? But what if you could flip the script? What if instead of you being the one obsessing over her, she's the one thinking about you non-stop, eagerly awaiting your next move? Sounds too good to be true? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into 3 simple tricks that will make her mind stay on you, even when she's not around. Here's the kicker. These tricks are so simple and so effective that you'll wonder why you didn't think of them sooner. We're talking about psychological hacks that will work for women of all ages, and once you use them, you might just find that the tables have turned. She could go from a woman you're chasing to one who's relentlessly pursuing you. But before we get into these hacks, let's take a moment to talk about something important: emotional connection. Because here's the thing, you can't just skip over this crucial step if you want these tricks to work. It's what most men overlook, but it's the key to everything. As men, we often focus on the pragmatic. We love the fun adventures, the experiences, and thinking that spending big on dates will impress her. But when it comes to women, none of this really matters in the way you think. Sure, she'll enjoy the ride, but it's the one who's formed that emotional bond with her that gets the call when the day ends. You see, creating that emotional connection is the real game changer. If you can do this right, the attraction will go from a simple interest to a full-blown obsession. And trust me, it's not as hard as you might think. All you need to do is focus on creating real, emotional reactions in her, but don't get it twisted. You don't need to take on all her problems, and you certainly don't want to become her therapist. The goal is to bring out emotions, real, raw emotions, that she wants to share with someone, anyone. Think about the bad boy persona you see all the time, the guy who pulls her close only to push her away. It's not a mistake. This push-pull dynamic is incredibly powerful, and if done correctly, it will have her obsessed with you. Now that we've set the stage, let's move on to the 3 simple hacks that will truly change the way you interact with women and guarantee that she'll never stop thinking about you. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into these psychological strategies that will have her hooked on you. As mentioned earlier, in order to grab her attention and make her constantly think about you, one of the most important factors is creating emotional reactions. Whether good or bad, these emotions will undoubtedly make her think about you non-stop. Inconsistency is the key. Have you ever seen a guy who, after making promises, starts to become inconsistent with his actions? This not only causes disappointment, but also creates a strong emotional response in her. However, this doesn't mean you need to act like a bad boy, but eliciting an emotional reaction, whether positive or negative, will make her think about you more. So how do you get her to think about you constantly? The answer lies in understanding women's emotional nature. Women tend to be much more emotional than men, so it's essential to trigger emotional responses whenever possible. And trust me, mystery is one of the most powerful tools. Mystery is the key. Have you ever watched a Batman movie? If you have, you've probably noticed that Batman always creates a sense of mystery around himself. Bruce Wayne is a man of few words about his personal life. He rarely reveals anything other than his luxurious house and expensive cars. His night job leaves him with little free time, which means he can't really share his time with a woman. What makes women so drawn to him? It's the curiosity. They want to know more, hoping that through spending more time with him, he'll open up and reveal more. and we can learn a lot from Batman. Mystery is one of the most attractive qualities. And guess what? You don't need Batman's life-threatening secrets to make this work, but you can create a mysterious persona. How do you create this mysterious persona? It's not hard. One of the first things you should do is learn to talk less, especially when it comes to talking about yourself. You don't need to reveal everything about yourself right away. This applies to your social life, your hobbies, and your personality as well. If she's into you, she'll naturally start questioning these things about you, and that's when you start creating curiosity. Keep a mystery around you, and by revealing tidbits of information from time to time, you'll only feed her curiosity enough to make her keep coming back to learn something new. That curiosity will become something valuable that keeps you both connected. However, here's the flip side. Too much mystery can kill attraction. Men often reveal everything about themselves, which allows her to make conclusions and determine that you're not the type of guy she's looking for, even before she's truly gotten to know you. However, the mystery approach will give her the time to discover who you truly are. And even if the two of you don't have common ground, you'll still be attractive in a way she can't quite explain. Now, number 2, mutual interest can build trust and attraction. After you've created that initial attraction, the next step is to find something you both enjoy doing and talking about. Next, we'll explore how mutual interests can solidify your bond and how to build genuine trust and attraction. Stay tuned. Building on what we discussed earlier about creating mutual interest, let's take a closer look at what truly makes that bond strong: emotional connection and shared experiences. Number 2, establish mutual interests. When a woman feels like she has found someone she can truly connect with, someone who shares her dreams, hobbies, and aspirations, she will naturally feel drawn to you. The more she believes that you are the person she can be herself with, the more she will crave being around you. In fact, you might find that she's the one making plans, trying to get closer, and actively seeking your presence. But here's the catch. To establish mutual interests, you need to put in the effort to really get to know her. It's all about understanding what she loves, what excites her, and what experiences she's passionate about. Once you know what that is, you can start weaving in your own interests and finding common ground. However, there's one important thing to keep in mind. Faking interest in things you don't care about will only bring you temporary success. If you find that there's no genuine connection, it's best to cut ties and walk away. You need to remember that if there's no authentic mutual interest, it's better to be upfront rather than drag things out. Sometimes cutting her off can work in your favor. This is where reverse psychology comes into play. If you pull away when her interest is still high, she might even start showing interest in your hobbies and passions. She will begin to seek common ground because now she wants to be a part of your world. This, my friend, will make her think about you constantly. It's the psychological trigger that gets her emotionally invested, as she'll forever associate this newfound curiosity with you. Number 3. Be unpredictable. The third trick is unpredictability, and it's what keeps things exciting in any relationship. The most appealing part of these strategies is their ability to make you seem constantly interesting. You can't expect her to stay engaged if everything becomes predictable and boring. However, the key to unpredictability is in surprises. And yes, these surprises should always be positive. Women love adventure, and while many might claim they want stability, there's something irresistible about an unexpected, spontaneous adventure that turns out to be amazing. It's about keeping her on her toes without crossing any boundaries of trust. Unpredictability doesn't mean being unreliable or breaking her trust. It means throwing in a delightful surprise, keeping things fresh and exciting. For example, you could randomly show up at a place she's going to, like a club or a cafe, or perhaps surprise her at work with a thoughtful gift, or just your presence. These little gestures keep the excitement alive, and since most men won't do this, you'll automatically have an edge. With all the distractions and overstimulation we get from social media and technology, it's easy for relationships to grow stagnant. But when you positively surprise her and keep things unpredictable, you'll break the routine and bring back the excitement she craves. The key here is to not overdo it. A little goes a long way. Keep the mystery alive. Keep her wondering what you'll do next, and she'll constantly be thinking about you. And here's the best part. This doesn't require you to be rich or look like a Hollywood star. You don't need to have the looks of Brad Pitt or the bank account of a billionaire. You'll win her over just by being mysterious, unpredictable, and allowing her to do a little work in figuring out who you are. So, what's the next step? After establishing this emotional intrigue and unpredictability, get ready for the final step, where we'll dive into how the power of confidence can truly seal the deal and make her obsession last. So now that you've built that emotional connection, shared mutual interests, and kept her intrigued with your unpredictable moves, what's the final piece of the puzzle? It's all about sealing the deal and ensuring that she doesn't just think about you, but sees you as the one. Once you've opened up enough about yourself and created that bond, finding common ground becomes key. You want her to feel like you're the one, the person she feels completely aligned with, someone she doesn't want to let go. But here's the thing. Being unpredictable ensures she never stops guessing, which will keep her attention locked on you. By combining these 3 simple hacks, you'll quickly become the most attractive and unique person she's ever met. However, there's more to navigating relationships and the dating world than just creating attraction. The truth is, dating can be intense, and understanding women goes beyond these simple tricks. Make sure to check out our other videos to uncover more of the mystery of the female mind and continue mastering the art of attraction. Now, let's talk about something that can sometimes shake things up in any relationship: disrespect. In moments when you feel disrespected, it's crucial to stay calm and composed. This is where Stoicism, a practical philosophy, can be your ally. Stoicism teaches us that other people's rude actions are their own issues, not ours. This mindset allows you to detach from negativity and avoid letting it control your emotions. With Stoicism, you'll handle disrespect with strength and understanding. While it's a gradual process, applying these principles consistently will make it clear to others that their negative behavior doesn't affect you. Step 1. Reflect on yourself. Taking the time to reflect on yourself during conflict is incredibly powerful. When you're faced with tension or disagreement, step back and examine your own actions. Ask yourself, how did I contribute to this situation? This helps you identify areas where you can grow and improve. By reflecting on your core values, you can ground yourself and make decisions that align with your true principles, especially when faced with disrespect. Step 2. keep your calm. Staying calm in the face of disrespect is one of the hardest yet most effective things you can do. It's easy to react impulsively, but reacting with anger or frustration only escalates things. Instead, take a deep breath, rise above the negativity, and choose to respond in a way that promotes healing and understanding. The other person's behavior is often a reflection of their own insecurities, so rise above it and handle the situation with grace and composure. Step 3. Cultivate empathy. Empathy is a game changer when it comes to mending strained relationships. By empathizing with the person, you make an effort to understand their perspective. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but it means acknowledging that everyone faces struggles, and often disrespectful actions come from a place of their own inner turmoil or misunderstanding. Showing compassion for their plight can allow you to handle the situation with more patience and kindness, even when you disagree. The final step is all about mastering how you handle conflict and maintaining emotional strength, no matter what the situation throws at you. When you can stay calm and empathize, you become someone people want to be around. And in relationships, this emotional control and understanding will make you even more attractive and desirable. Ready to dive deeper into building these skills and mastering the art of attraction? Stick with us for more insights and keep learning how to turn every interaction into a meaningful connection. As we discussed earlier, responding to disrespect with stoic calm and emotional understanding is key to building stronger relationships. But handling these situations with grace and wisdom goes beyond just being composed. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Number 4. Take a moment before reacting. When faced with disrespect, it's natural to feel the urge to react immediately. Your emotions rise, and you might be tempted to respond on the spot. However, as challenging as it may be, it's far wiser to pause before you react. This small pause is not just about holding back, it's about giving yourself a moment of clarity. It creates space for you to think more clearly, and most importantly, to respond with composure and thoughtfulness. By taking a few seconds to breathe and process the situation, you can avoid escalating the conflict and saying or doing something you might regret. This mindful approach can transform your response and ensure that you handle the situation in the best way possible, while preventing any unnecessary fallout. Number 5. Respond with reason, not emotions. When someone disrespects us, it's easy to be tempted to lash out with anger or frustration, but doing so only fuels the fire. Instead, you should aim to respond with reason, not emotion. Think about it. Responding with wisdom allows you to view the situation from a rational perspective, while courage empowers you to stand up for yourself despite any fear or anxiety. By approaching the disrespect with virtue, you open up the possibility for a more constructive conversation and resolution. Responding with reason doesn't come naturally all the time. It's a skill that takes practice. But the more you practice it, the more capable you'll become in navigating challenging situations without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Number 6. Embrace acceptance. Now here's an essential aspect of personal growth that often goes overlooked. Acceptance. It's not about giving up or letting things slide, but rather letting go of unrealistic expectations. When we learn to accept people and situations as they are, We stop trying to control the uncontrollable. We cannot control how others behave or how they respond, but we can control how we respond to them. Acceptance allows us to stop resisting what is and instead focus on our own journey and progress. It's about fostering inner peace, not because everything around us is perfect, but because we choose to let go of judgment and embrace things as they are. When you accept others for who they are, even in the face of disrespect, you open yourself up to greater peace. You will find it much easier to respond with grace and not with anger or resentment. Acceptance is about freeing yourself from external expectations and focusing on your internal peace. Number 7, choose forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood, but it is one of the most powerful tools for emotional freedom. It's not about saying, "What you did is okay." Instead, forgiveness is a conscious choice to let go of negative emotions like anger, resentment, and bitterness. It's easy to hold on to these emotions, but doing so only keeps you tied to the past. Forgiveness frees you. It allows you to move forward, focusing on healing rather than holding grudges. Importantly, forgiving does not mean becoming a doormat or letting others mistreat you. It simply means that you choose to rise above the negativity, respond with compassion, and seek justice without letting hatred consume you. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-liberation. It's not about excusing the hurtful behavior, but about freeing yourself from the emotional weight that it carries. Over time, you'll find that forgiveness allows you to cultivate healthier, more meaningful relationships based on mutual respect. Number 8, set clear boundaries. And finally, set clear boundaries. It's essential to establish healthy boundaries in any relationship, whether personal or professional. Boundaries show that you respect yourself, and they signal to others that you won't tolerate disrespect or manipulation. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. Rather, they are a way of ensuring that both parties respect each other's space and needs. When you have clear boundaries, people will understand your limits and the behavior you won't tolerate. This not only protects your emotional well-being, but also strengthens your relationships by ensuring mutual respect and understanding. By mastering these principles, reflection, calmness, reason, acceptance, forgiveness, and boundaries, you can handle disrespect with strength and clarity, and you'll build more meaningful relationships along the way. These steps may not always be easy, but with consistent practice, you will become more resilient and better equipped to deal with challenges. Next up, we'll explore how to maintain inner peace during difficult times and how these principles can create lasting positive changes in your relationships. We've already discussed the importance of setting clear boundaries, which is a vital component of self-care and self-respect. Setting boundaries isn't just about creating limits. It's about protecting your emotional well-being and making sure that others understand what you will and will not tolerate in your life. When you set boundaries, you're not only safeguarding your personal space, but also teaching others how to respect you. Imagine this: being the mountain. Just like a mountain stands tall and strong, no matter how hard the winds blow, you too can remain steady in the face of adversity. Setting boundaries means standing firm in your beliefs and staying true to your values, even when you're faced with disrespectful behavior from others. By doing so, you show people that you won't be pushed around or bullied into submission. It's not about being inflexible, it's about knowing your worth and demonstrating that you won't compromise your principles just to please others. At the same time, by setting clear boundaries, you're also teaching yourself to respect your own needs and desires, which forms the foundation of healthy relationships with everyone around you. Number 9. Leverage humor and smiles. Sometimes, a little bit of humor goes a long way. You see, when conflicts arise, we often find ourselves trapped in our emotions, which makes everything feel a lot more intense than it really is. That's when humor and a simple smile can help break the tension. A touch of humor can effectively ease tense situations, allowing both parties to reset and approach the conversation with a lighter spirit. The key here is to use humor wisely, not to belittle the situation or dismiss the other person's emotions, but to shift the focus away from negativity and bring it to a more amicable space. Humor can be the bridge that helps you move from conflict into cooperation, but you must always be mindful of the timing and tone to ensure it's not perceived as disrespectful or dismissive. Number 10. Change your perspective. When things get tough, embracing a wider perspective can make all the difference. Instead of getting stuck in the heat of the moment, take a step back and view the situation from a broader context. Change is inevitable, and everything evolves. What seems like an overwhelming issue now might seem insignificant later. This perspective allows you to respond with clarity and peace, instead of reacting out of anger or frustration. This broader view reminds you that material gains, power, and temporary pleasures are fleeting, and they shouldn't distract you from your true values and long-term goals. When you adopt this mindset, you can focus on the things that truly matter: compassion, humility, and wisdom, and it'll help you handle situations of disrespect with much more empathy and sagacity. In summary, the art of handling disrespect isn't just about reacting. It's about building inner strength by applying Stoic principles, from staying calm and reflective, pausing before reacting, using humor and responding with wisdom, to embracing acceptance, empathy, and setting strong boundaries. These principles will not only help you deal with disrespect, but they'll also help you grow as a person. Mastering these skills means you're standing up for yourself, healing from past hurt, and preserving your self-worth. It takes dedication, but with the right mindset, you'll be able to confront challenges head-on and emerge stronger, more resilient, and ready for anything that comes your way. Now, as we move forward, we'll dive into how to apply these Stoic principles in real-life situations, making sure that you don't just survive, you thrive. As we've discussed so far, applying Stoic principles in your daily life, especially when handling disrespect, brings powerful long-term results. The payoff is immense. By embracing these practices, you'll find that your life is filled with happiness, purpose, and a deep sense of fulfillment. So, the next time you encounter disrespect, remember these 10 Stoic strategies. With each day, these practices will make you stronger and better equipped to handle life's challenges. The beauty of Stoicism is that it allows you to realize that you have control over your reactions, your desires, and ultimately your own will. As Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "We have control over our opinions, pursuits, desires, and essentially our will." Taking charge of your thoughts and actions is the first step on the journey toward resilience and inner strength. When you apply these Stoic principles, you'll begin to notice a profound change within yourself. No matter the external circumstances, you'll discover that you have the inner strength to overcome any obstacle, whether it's emotional, relational, or even physical. This is not just about surviving, it's about thriving, no matter what life throws your way. If you found value in these Stoic teachings, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment after watching the video. Let me know which principle you're going to apply first. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights and practical advice on building inner peace and mental strength. Also, be sure to check out the accompanying video I've linked for you to dive deeper into understanding how to identify fake people. It's an important skill to have, and behind every smile, there's a story. But can you tell if it's genuine or just a mask? Number 20. Inconsistent stories. One of the biggest red flags when dealing with fake people is inconsistent stories. Have you ever heard someone tell a tale that seems to change every time they speak? Well, this is one of the most telling signs of a person who's trying to deceive. Fake people often contradict themselves, and their stories don't hold up to scrutiny. These individuals can be like chameleons, constantly altering their stories to fit the situation or the audience they're speaking to. Their narratives often shift dramatically over time, especially as they forget the details of their own fabrications or need to adjust their story to serve their current agenda. This inconsistency isn't just a harmless quirk. It's a deliberate tactic to manipulate or impress others. Fake people are insecure about their true identity, so they create a facade to mask who they really are. Authentic people don't need to change their story because their experiences are genuine and consistent. Now let's think about this. How many times have you heard someone's story change when they're asked for more details? Or how often have they forgotten crucial details they previously mentioned? This lack of consistency isn't just frustrating, it's damaging, especially in relationships and professional settings. In personal relationships, inconsistent stories create distrust. How can you trust someone with your heart when their past doesn't even match up? And in professional environments, these contradictions can lead to a toxic atmosphere where colleagues can't rely on one another and leaders can't make informed decisions. So, how do you spot these inconsistencies? It comes down to being observant and having a good memory for details. Pay attention to what people say over time, and you'll begin to see patterns emerge. Don't be paranoid, but protect yourself by being aware of who you're dealing with. When you notice contradictions, don't just brush them off. Ask for clarification or more details. Often, when someone's story doesn't hold up under scrutiny, they'll either contradict themselves again or struggle to maintain their facade. By recognizing these warning signs, you can better protect yourself from potential manipulation and deceit. It might seem small, but paying attention to these details can save you from a lot of heartache and frustration in the long run. Ready to continue with more tips on identifying fake people and protecting yourself from manipulation? Stay tuned for the next part, where we'll uncover more key behaviors to watch out for. As we discussed earlier, recognizing inconsistent stories is a key way to spot fake individuals. But what else can you look out for when trying to identify someone who's not being genuine? The answer is often found in the depth of their relationships, or rather the lack of it. Number 2, superficial connections. Have you ever met someone who seems to know everyone, but truly connects with no one? On the surface, everything seems Fine. They appear friendly, social, and outgoing. However, scratch a little deeper, and you'll find that their relationships have shallow roots. Fake individuals prefer breadth over depth in their social circles. They'll have a long list of acquaintances, but when it comes down to real, meaningful friendships, they'll have few, if any. These individuals often surround themselves with people who offer something of value, whether it's social status, professional connections, or other personal benefits. Their connections aren't built on mutual respect or genuine affection, but rather on what they can gain from those around them. Superficial connections are a calculated strategy, a way to navigate the social world without ever committing to anyone. It's easy for these people to move from group to group, always looking for the next best connection. But at the end of the day, these shallow relationships lack depth and understanding. Fake individuals don't invest the time or emotional energy necessary to form real, meaningful bonds. Think about it. They know a lot of people, but their knowledge of these individuals is often limited to surface-level details like names, job, titles, and small talk. They won't share personal struggles, they won't have those deep conversations about hopes and dreams, and they certainly won't offer genuine emotional support. This approach to relationships is fundamentally self-serving. You might see them flitting from one group to another, constantly seeking the most advantageous association, and in doing so, they miss out on what truly makes relationships valuable. The kind of connection that supports you through tough times, celebrates with you in good times, and fosters growth throughout life. The impact of these shallow connections is far-reaching. For those who get involved with fake individuals, it often leads to feelings of being used or unappreciated. For the fake individuals themselves, it leads to a lonely existence, surrounded by people, yet completely disconnected from any real companionship or support. Despite their wide social circles, these individuals often feel isolated at the core. So how do you identify these superficial relationships? Look closely at how people talk about their connections with others. Do they focus only on what others can do for them? Do they constantly switch social circles, looking for the next group to associate with? This behavior is common in both personal and professional environments. In personal relationships, fake people might use excessive flattery to create a false sense of trust, or they may try to charm their way into your life to mask their true intentions. In professional settings, they might use charm as a tactic to gain favor, distract from their lack of competence, or hide their lack of commitment. The danger of this behavior lies in its ability to mislead and manipulate. It creates an environment where genuine talent and effort are overshadowed by empty words. And the people who rely heavily on flattery or surface-level charm often struggle with authenticity in other areas of their lives too. Now that you know how to spot these superficial connections, it's time to shift focus. Let's move on to the next key sign that someone might be faking it, and learn how to protect yourself from falling victim to their tactics. As we've discussed, spotting superficial connections is essential in identifying fake people. But there's another key characteristic that's equally important to recognize: a transactional view of relationships. Fake individuals often treat relationships like transactions. You give something, they take something, with little regard for the connection itself. They may see others as mere tools or stepping stones for personal gain, rather than people with whom they share mutual respect. This transactional approach leads to shallow social circles, where people are valued not for who they are, but for what they can provide. It's an unfortunate reality for many, but by being aware of this mindset, you can avoid falling into it yourself. Now here's how you can tell the difference between genuine praise and flattery, because recognizing this subtle distinction is key in protecting yourself from manipulation. Genuine compliments are typically specific and related to actual achievements or qualities. They are given without expecting anything in return, coming from a place of sincerity and genuine appreciation. For example, someone might compliment you on your hard work or a particular skill you've demonstrated. These compliments feel grounded, real, and reflective of your true character. In contrast, flattery is often vague, exaggerated, and can feel a bit empty. It's the kind of praise that seems to come from nowhere, with no real substance behind it. It might sound like, "You're the best at everything," or "You always know exactly what to say." But when you stop to think about it, these kinds of comments don't seem to match up with anything real or specific in your life. Flattery is often used as a deceptive tactic to manipulate or gain favor, rather than to genuinely acknowledge your qualities. By learning to recognize the difference between genuine compliments and flattery, you can avoid falling for these shallow, empty attempts at manipulation. Number 4, lack of empathy. One of the most significant red flags that indicates someone is insincere is a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and respond with compassion. A person without empathy has a hollow heart. They lack the ability to truly connect with others emotionally. Fake individuals often show a remarkable absence of concern for others. They might focus solely on their own desires and goals, completely disregarding the emotional needs of the people around them. This lack of empathy can manifest in several ways. Indifference to others' struggles, as they don't care about what others are going through. Failure to celebrate others' successes, instead choosing to make it all about themselves. Neglecting the emotional well-being of those around them, showing no interest in offering support when needed. In more extreme cases, a lack of empathy can lead to manipulative or harmful behaviors, where the person doesn't consider or care about how their actions affect others. They might use people as tools to get ahead or push others down to elevate themselves. This lack of empathy can be damaging in both personal and professional settings. In personal relationships, it can create one-sided dynamics, where one person's needs and feelings are constantly ignored or undervalued. Over time, this kind of relationship will feel unfulfilling and empty. In professional environments, a lack of empathy can foster a hostile or non-collaborative atmosphere. People in the workplace may feel misunderstood, undervalued, or unsupported by colleagues or superiors. It can lead to an environment where trust and cooperation break down, hindering the growth and success of both individuals and the team. So how do you spot someone who lacks empathy? Start by observing how they react to situations that require emotional understanding. Do they show concern when others are upset or in distress? Can they celebrate others' successes without making it about themselves? Do they show understanding and patience during difficult times? If the answers to these questions point to indifference or self-centeredness, then you're likely dealing with someone who lacks empathy, a crucial element of any healthy, genuine relationship. Now that you understand how to identify fake individuals based on their lack of empathy, let's explore how to protect yourself and build authentic, emotionally rich relationships. In the next section, we'll dive into actionable tips for maintaining your emotional integrity and creating bonds that are based on true connection. As we explored earlier, recognizing lack of empathy and superficial connections is key to identifying fake individuals. Now let's dive deeper into a more insidious characteristic of these people, their manipulative behavior. Number 5. Manipulative behavior. Manipulation is a powerful tool in the hands of fake individuals. They are experts at using others for their own gain, disregarding the feelings and well-being of those around them. This behavior is a deliberate strategy, a way to control, influence, and achieve their goals at the expense of others. It can be subtle at first, small emotional manipulations, or it can escalate into outright exploitation. The danger of manipulation lies in its subtlety. Fake people often have a keen understanding of human psychology and use this knowledge to their advantage. They might play on your guilt, use charm, coerce you into doing things, or even deceive you into believing their false narratives. This kind of manipulation often goes unnoticed until the damage has already been done, and by then, the manipulator has moved on, leaving you confused or feeling responsible for their actions. The victims of manipulation often end up feeling guilty or even questioning their own judgment. In personal relationships, this can lead to a toxic dynamic where one person feels constantly pressured to meet the manipulator's demands or expectations. Over time, this can erode your self-esteem, create anxiety, and lead to emotional distress. In professional settings, recognizing and addressing manipulative behavior is crucial for maintaining a healthy, respectful work environment. If left unchecked, it can ruin team dynamics and make collaboration difficult. The best way to protect yourself from these individuals is to be aware of their tactics and set strong boundaries to prevent manipulation from taking root. Number 6. Frequent disappearance. Here's a red flag that's all too familiar. Frequent disappearance. The fake individuals in your life are often nowhere to be found when things get tough. They'll show up for the good times, basking in shared successes or joyous occasions, but when the going gets tough, they're nowhere to be seen. This pattern of disappearing during difficult moments is a clear sign of a fair-weather friend or colleague, someone who's only there for the fun and easy parts, but not when challenges arise. It's easy to identify these individuals because they seem to vanish when support or help is truly needed. The harm of this behavior goes beyond the absence itself. It creates a false sense of reliability. You may think they're dependable, but when things get serious, they betray your trust. This can leave friends, family, or colleagues feeling abandoned and unsupported when they need it most. In personal relationships, this can lead to feelings of loneliness and betrayal. You might realize that the connection you had was only strong when things were easy, but when things got hard, they were nowhere to be found. In professional environments, this behavior can disrupt team dynamics and hinder progress, as those individuals fail to contribute when challenges arise. To identify this, it's important to observe patterns over time. It's not just about who's around during celebrations or victories. It's about who remains by your side when adversity strikes. True loyalty and reliability are proven in moments of challenge, not ease. Number 7, broken promises. We've all been let down by promises that were never kept. But when it becomes a pattern, you know you're dealing with someone who is not genuine. Broken promises are often the foundation of relationships with fake people. A castle built on promises is built on air. It's fragile and easily falls apart. Fake individuals will promise the world, but their actions rarely match their words. They might say all the right things, but when it comes to following through, they disappear or fail to deliver. These broken promises might not always be huge betrayals. Sometimes they are small things, a commitment to meet up, a promise to help, or a guarantee to support you in something important. Over time, however, these broken promises add up and create a pattern of unreliability. This can be emotionally exhausting for those around them, as they are constantly left wondering if they can ever truly trust the words coming from the fake person's mouth. When you're dealing with someone who frequently breaks promises, it's important to recognize this pattern early. The best way to protect yourself from such behavior is to set clear expectations and hold people accountable when they fail to follow through. Trust is earned through consistent action, not just words. As we move forward, let's explore how to spot more manipulative behaviors and continue building strong, authentic relationships in both your personal and professional life. Keep these tips in mind, and you'll be better prepared to navigate the complexities of human interactions. As we discussed earlier, broken promises are a clear sign of a lack of integrity and reliability. Fake individuals often make commitments easily, but they fail to follow through, and that failure is a critical indicator of their character. When someone makes a promise, they are, in essence, giving their word. But when they break that promise, it's not just a minor lapse. It's a sign of disrespect, both toward the recipient and toward themselves. Breaking promises erodes trust and can damage relationships, whether personal or professional. It can lead to disappointment, frustration, and even resentment. Over time, repeatedly breaking promises can destroy your credibility and undermine the respect others have for you. In personal relationships, it creates an environment of uncertainty and insecurity, where the other person starts questioning whether they can rely on you for anything. In professional settings, this behavior can jeopardize your reputation and even affect career opportunities, as colleagues and superiors begin to see you as unreliable. To deal with people who are prone to breaking promises, it's essential to set clear expectations and boundaries. Be straightforward about what you need and expect from them, and hold them accountable for their commitments. In some cases, this might prompt a change in behavior, but remember, don't rely solely on their promises. Protect yourself by making sure you don't place too much trust in someone who has shown a tendency to disappoint. Number 8. Excessive self-promotion. Have you ever been around someone who seems to be constantly talking about themselves, inflating their achievements and seeking attention? Fake individuals often engage in excessive self-promotion, and in their world, the spotlight never dims. While having confidence is important, excessive self-promotion goes far beyond that. It's a deep-seated need for validation, a desperate desire for admiration and praise from others. These individuals often exaggerate their accomplishments or inflate their sense of importance. They believe that they deserve constant recognition and attention, and this behavior can be incredibly disruptive in both personal and professional environments. In personal relationships, this constant self-focus creates an imbalance where one person's needs, achievements, and desires overshadow everyone else's. It can make conversations feel one-sided, leaving little room for anyone else to share or be heard. In professional settings, excessive self-promotion can poison the atmosphere. When one person is always trying to stand out at the expense of teamwork, collaboration suffers and the group dynamic becomes unhealthy. Recognizing excessive self-promotion isn't always easy, but there are signs you can look for. Pay attention to how individuals talk about themselves. Do they constantly dominate conversations with stories of their accomplishments? Do they exaggerate or even fabricate details to appear more successful or important? These behaviors are classic signs of someone who may be more concerned with their image than with genuine connections or contributions. Number 9. Unreliable instincts. This one is important because often our instincts can sense inauthenticity before our minds can make sense of it. We've all had those moments where something just doesn't feel right, even if we can't immediately put our finger on why. That gut feeling, sometimes called an intuitive sense, is a powerful tool when it comes to identifying fake people. Our subconscious mind is constantly picking up on subtle cues and inconsistencies that our conscious minds may miss or rationalize away. For example, if someone's behavior feels off, your instincts can often tell you that something isn't quite right before you can logically explain why. But it's also crucial to remember that instincts aren't infallible. They can be influenced by personal biases, past experiences, or even emotional states. That's why, while trusting your gut is important, it's also essential to balance intuition with rational thought and careful observation. So, when you feel that something is off, don't ignore it. But also, take a moment to step back and look at the person's behavior objectively. Observe how they act over time, how they interact with others, and how they handle situations. Often, with patience and careful observation, the truth will come to light and your instincts will be proven right. With these tools in hand, you can begin to better protect yourself from manipulation and manipulative people who thrive on deception and shallow relationships. In the next section, we'll discuss how to build stronger, more genuine connections and ensure your relationships are based on trust, respect, and authenticity. As we've discussed, while our instincts can be powerful tools in recognizing fake individuals, they need to be coupled with rational analysis and observation. Sometimes our gut feelings might point us in the right direction, but it's essential to verify those instincts through careful observation and reflection. Look for patterns and gather evidence that either confirms or challenges your intuition. Our instincts can sometimes mislead us, particularly in complex social situations where our personal biases or preconceptions play a significant role. Cultivating self-awareness is crucial in this process. By being mindful of these biases, you can refine your instincts and make them a more reliable guide when assessing the authenticity of the people you interact with. In conclusion, while our instincts are a valuable asset in recognizing inauthentic behavior, they should never be the sole basis of our judgment. By combining them with rational thought and keen observation, we can develop a more accurate and nuanced understanding of the people around us. This balanced approach will allow us to form deeper, more authentic, and more meaningful relationships. Navigating the complexities of human relationships requires an understanding of these subtle signs of inauthenticity. Recognizing the patterns that reveal who someone truly is, whether it's through inconsistent stories, unreliable promises, or superficial connections, will help you build the skills necessary to spot these traits early on. This understanding is crucial in developing relationships that are rooted in trust and genuine connection. But the journey doesn't stop here. Our channel is dedicated to empowering you with the insights you need to navigate human behavior and relationships more effectively. By subscribing, you join a community that is committed to growth, authenticity, and personal development. Don't let the journey end with this video. If you found these insights valuable, hit the like button, subscribe, and join us in our continued exploration of the human experience. Every like, every share, every subscription helps us reach more people and spread knowledge that has the potential to transform lives. We would love to hear your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Your story could be the key that guides someone else to a better understanding of their own relationships. Together, let's build a world where authenticity reigns and genuine connections thrive. Remember, your intuition is your compass, and your willingness to learn and grow is the key to navigating the often turbulent seas of relationships. Embrace your authenticity, nurture it, and watch how your connections flourish in the light of truth. Thank you for watching, and remember, in a world full of facades, your authenticity is your greatest strength. Now, let's continue this journey of discovery together. Hit subscribe, join the community, and stay updated on more insightful content that will help you make meaningful connections and build a life full of authenticity and true relationships.